Next up, we got Babe Ruth. Very cool. George Herman Ruth, New York Yankees. So in this one in particular, you know what? Maybe they're going for the team that they played the most for, or the team that they were known the most for. Hey there, y'all. Bunkle here. Hope you've been having a great day. Hope every day is a blessed day for you and y'all. So I got here 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I'll be doing one of these only today, though. These are more oddball baseball card sets from the 80s and 90s. Now, these are, I guess, of particular interest if you're a player collector. No matter what player from the 80s and 90s, vintage era or junk wax era or whatever they want to call it. I think that if you're a player collector, these are some sets that you should maybe look into. They're very, very low cost sets and very easy, quick addition to your player collection. I'm going to be opening up. This is 1990 Series 1. And we're going to be taking a look at these are Major League Baseball Collectabooks, Premier Edition, 12 Superstars. So we get to see who they considered superstars from back in 1990. Now, there's a checklist. Okay, so this box contains 9 current baseball superstars and 3 past baseball greats. See, now that's why this is kind of important because, let's just say you're a Babe Ruth collector, okay? And it's not that easy to be a Babe Ruth collector, but as far as like vintage or 1930s and 40s, it can be kind of tough finding those. But if you want to collect Babe Ruth cards, like 1976 had one of him in their what was it, all-time greats subset. There's other cards that have had Babe Ruth on it over the years. You know what? This would be a great addition to your player collection. Or thinking more modern, Ricky Henderson. Okay, that's another great one. So definitely chock full of greats. Look, Ken Griffey Jr. there too. So absolutely pretty cool. And if you get all 3 boxes, you complete your set of 36 superstars. Ooh. Anyway, let's get opening these. Take a look, see what these collectabooks look like. Now, as I was saying, you could probably find these, I don't know, $5, maybe $10 on eBay. You could probably find all 3 for $10 or $15, maybe $20. So very, very low addition cost to your personal collection, to your player collection. Let me move these 2 out of the way. These are going to be done in another video in a short time. They may come out tomorrow, whatever tomorrow is. But all right, we got Robin Yount, Hall of Famer, of course. That's what the back looks like. Nice little cartoon. Very cool. Let's take a look inside these collectabooks. Oh, let's see. You have first name, middle name, or first name, middle initial, and last name. The logo of the team he was playing for at that time, Milwaukee Brewers. Some personal highlights. Rockin' Robin. His date of birth, height, weight, all of that stuff. College career. His personal story. He was only 18 when he took over as the regular shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers in 1974. He was the first American League shortstop to successfully bounce throws to first base on purpose, skipping off the artificial turf. His long, low throws from deep short would arrive faster, beating even the speediest runners. You got some career highlights. AL MVP in 1989. Played American League Baseball 1982, AL MVP. Hit .414 in the 82 World Series. Member of 4 AL All-Star teams and led the AL in doubles and triples 2 times each. You got full player statistics there for his entire career up to that point. Look at that. So not only his major league career, but it's also got him with a year of the minor league. And then Robin says managers try to change the style of hitters. That's okay as long as they don't make the hitters so uncomfortable that they end up hurting the team more than helping it. And little like fake autograph or replica autograph of Robin Yount. And let's see, 1990 JBC patents pending. So that's pretty cool. From Collectors Marketing Corp, New York, New York, 100000001. A lot of zeros there. Next up, we got Babe Ruth. Very cool. George Herman Ruth, New York Yankees. So in this one in particular, you know what? Maybe they're going for the team that they played the most for, or the team that they were known the most for. Because, Babe Ruth, although he was with the Red Sox, and then later in his career, towards the end of his career, the Boston Braves. And you could see that right there. I mean, he was known for being a Yankee. So there is that. Now, Babe Ruth says, don't be intimidated. If you're good enough to have a bat in your hand, you're good enough to swing it. That's right. Babe always enjoyed signing his autograph for his fans of all ages. Him around a bunch of kids. There's always pictures of him with kids and children and people. Babe Ruth did everything in a grand way. He would eat 8 hot dogs as a snack. He would hit towering home runs for sick kids he just visited in the hospital. Sometimes Babe would go to the plate and point to where he was going to hit his homer. The pitchers didn't like that. Why do I feel like I'm reading a book written for like a 5-year-old? Maybe. I mean, these were probably made for kids. I would think so. I mean, cartoon on the back. Though he is a holder of many home run and other batting titles, it was always Ruth's personal popularity and charisma that saved the game of baseball. Yep, definitely there. Okay, we got Ernie Banks. Very cool. Ernie Banks' story, personal highlights, Mr. Cub, and just Ernie, because his name was Ernest. He was probably the most famous player never to play in a World Series. Okay, yeah. He admits that darkest moment of his career came in 1969 after the Mets clinched a pennant that the Cubs seemed to have locked up. I just went down to the lakefront in Chicago and cried. His career highlights? That's pretty cool. Got a cameo there. Check that out. Ernie with Chicago Cubs bat boy and the boy's father. Ernie says, I always like to say, let's play too. But the day comes along when you don't feel like playing too. That's the day you've lost a lot about what life is supposed to be about. Yeah, that's when you're saying, yep, I'm done. All right, we got Yaz, Carl Yastrzemski. Great one for the Yaz collector, for the Red Sox collectors. If you're a team collector, you like the Red Sox? Well, you know what? This is a great one. It's got this little book about his career, and he was career Red Sox. And what did Yaz say? Yaz said, when they knock you up, you not only have to get up, but you have to make it clear you won't be knocked down a second time. That's pretty cool, okay. Along with his numerous batting and fielding records, Yaz was the last player to win the Triple Crown in 1967. That's up to that point, of course. Got Ruben Sierra, another great player from those times. Nickname, None. So we just call him None, I guess. His personal story, a natural righty. He learned to be a switch hitter late in 1984 in the Instructional League. And by that time in his career, he's only had a short little career. I mean, from 86 to 89. Before that, he was in the minors. And he was still considered a great superstar in Major League Baseball. As one of the game's most talented players, combining a powerful arm and immense power. Ruben is only the 7th switch hitter to hit 30 home runs in one season. All right, now, one of my favorite players of all time, Rickey Henderson. That's very cool. Look at that, Rickey Henley Henderson, the Oakland A's, and his nickname was Ricky. Yeah, okay, because his name was Ricky and his nickname was Ricky, but he used to refer to himself in the third person, kind of like Elmo. Speed and power, the most explosive leadoff hitter in the history of baseball. Now, up until last year, I was making the claim, and maybe it's a bold claim, that if Ricky were to jump back into Major League Baseball, he'd still be one of the top maybe 2, 3, or 4 leadoff hitters in Major League Baseball today. Now, unfortunately, with his passing last year, I can't make that claim anymore. But you know what? I think he still could have played, and he still would have been considered, and he still would have been able to get around on a pitch, and he still would have stolen some bases, that's for sure. Ricky says, the main thing is to be very patient up there at bat. Play your game, not the pitchers. Good lesson, although I'm surprised he says The main thing Ricky says is to be very Ricky patient up there at bat. All right, we got pitcher Oral Hershiser. That's cool. Personal story, a religious Mormon who says he never loses sight of the fact that his ability is God-given and might be taken away at any moment. Very cool. Okay, and his career up to this point, a few years in the minors, 5 years in the minors, and then he hit the majors with a boom. Or Shaq would say it's a boom shakalaka. Oral says, no matter how good you think you are at this game, you find out every time you take the mound, you're climbing another mountain. Very cool. Consecutive scoreless innings. Then we got Bo Jackson. Very cool. Vincent Edward Jackson, nickname is Bo, born in Bessemer, Alabama, hometown Leawood, Kansas. Although many athletes have tried to pursue careers in 2 professional sports at the same time, Bo Jackson has succeeded as a dual star in baseball and football. In baseball, yeah, he still sometimes swings at bad pitches and maybe gets a bit tired around August. But Jackson unleashed one of baseball's most exciting power running games in 1989. The former Heisman Trophy winner has shown himself to be unrattled by the enormous press coverage he has received. He's the first Royal in history to steal 25 and hit 25 home runs in one season. That's back when that was a big deal. Going 2020 was a big deal. Now, he had 1 year in Memphis before he had his cup of coffee with Kansas City. Bo says there's no denying. There's only one Bo. Wouldn't you want to be Bo if you could? He's got bubble gum. Bubble gum. All right. Next up, Doc Dwight Gooden. Now, what could have been, should have been, could be possibly Dwight Eugene Gooden, Doc and Dr. K. I mean, he could have been considered to be one of the best pitchers of his generation if he would have held his stuff together. But, you know, he got involved in a bunch of stuff and not very cool. But you know what? It is what it is. And see, it even says, since coming back from his drug rehab program in 1987, Gooden has matured to the point where one New York sports writer describes him as not just a franchise of the Mets, but of everyone with heart and hard-earned smarts. And that's the start off of his career. Doc says, as you get older, you realize the free ride is over, that you have to work harder and harder. The sweat is more, but maybe the satisfaction is greater too. Now, only in the second year, I think it is. This would be considered a second-year card, 1990. See, he only had 89, and he was considered a superstar of baseball, of course, from like the minute he stepped foot on the field. It was expected. Now, unfortunately, not everybody lives up to those high expectations, but I'd say Griffey basically did. And he ended up being a Hall of Famer. Could he have been better? Could he have had better numbers? Maybe, but then the kid wouldn't be playing the kid's game. That's the thing. I mean, he had no nickname up until that point. That's for sure. I mean, it says it there. But he leapt to the majors with only a year and a half minor league experience, but did so despite a stress fracture of the vertebrae during the 1988 season. Ken said, I haven't had to go through that phase of being awed by baseball's big stars. That's an advantage of having a dad in the big leagues. And his dad, you know, was pretty much a star also, part of the Big Red Machine during the 70s. All right, then we got Will the Thrill Clark. Also young, or the Natural, his other nickname. Also still young in his career and could have been a whole much more, but let's see, what was known to have left somewhat upset. Will was known to have felt somewhat upset at reports prior to the 1989 season that he was going to be traded to the New York Yankees along with Adlai Hammaker in exchange for Don Mattingly. Why would the Giants be stupid enough to do that? He was quoted as saying, wow. Now, I don't know. I'd take Mattingly over Will Clark, but that's just me. Will says, play for the team and don't just go for the personal stats. I can respect that. All right, last up, we got the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. And you see it says Ozzie and the Wizard of Oz because his full name, his full government would be Earl Osborne Smith, or Ozzy Osbourne. See that? Ooh, he's Ozzy Osbourne? I don't think so. Where's the bat? All right, probably the best defensive shortstop in the history of baseball. Questionable, maybe, but still questionable, debatable. Let's see. Ozzy says, I may not drive in 100 runs each year, but I can prevent 100 runs from scoring against us. Well, that does have value. I'll go for that. And the Ozzie Smith cartoon, one of the best defensive shortstops in the game today. Ozzie set a major league record for most assists with 621 in 1980. That's a lot of assists. Anyway, so this was fun again. These are Major League Baseball collectible books. Has 12 inside this series 1 set. And absolutely some all-time greats in here. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. And would you add it to your personal collection for the players? I mean, definitely some interesting cards, but are they cards or are they books? That's the question. Anyway, I do hope y'all enjoyed. Thanks much for commenting and subscribing and watching and thumbs upping and hitting that bell button and liking and all that other great stuff. I appreciate all of y'all every day. Anyway, y'all take care. Stay well. Stay blessed. Bunkle out.